I collect jokes. I've collected jokes since I was a little kid. My great uncle Joe Phillips was a stand-up comic back in the 30s, 20s and 30s and 40s. He was a vaudeville comic. And when he got to be an older man, when he was like 60, he used to be on Jack Parr. Does anybody remember the Jack Parr? He'd come on Jack Parr, and he was a Broadway actor too. He played Little Abner on Broadway, and he did some movies and stuff. But he'd come over to our house when I was a little boy, when I was like 6 or 7. And some kids get attached to magic or something, but for me, his comedy made, whenever he'd tell the punchline, it was kind of like the rabbit coming out of the hat for me, you know. And I used to listen to him, and I still remember part of his routine. He had a routine. He did the same routine, but this is before film, so he could do the same routine from theater to theater, and nobody would have seen it. He'd say, yeah, I got a friend named August A. August. The A is to break the monotony. He went into the war the 1st of September. That was the last of August. He got over there, they said, fire at will. He said, who's Will? And he had this whole pattern. That was part of the pattern. It was very funny. He said, yeah, I finally got back. He got back from the war. I got a hotel room overlooking the ocean. Completely. It was funny back then. And today it doesn't have the same punch because, you know. But in any event, so I collected jokes. And I have stored jokes in my head my whole life. It's almost like Tourettic in a way, I guess. It's not always a pleasant thing, because everything somebody says reminds me of a joke I've heard, and I have to stop myself from telling the joke. Hooked up, I never had any kind of closure and stuff, and we did. We shot a scene in the science lab where it was after Warlord, when I go up to Cass and Neil says, I understand. I know that we drifted apart and everything like that, but I want you to know that I'm always going to be your friend. And we had this real nice warm moment, but they cut it. They never used it in any of the shows. So, but anyway, so I go to the science lab and I go to Tom. I go, Tom, I know you've been in trouble in your past, and blah, blah, blah. How do I deal with this? Should I just go down? He said, just go down and do your best. And blah, blah, blah. It was just some kind of scene like that. So I said, thank you, and I'm leaving. And as I leave, I hear Tom go, oh, by the way, I love those Andorian sweet roots you put out this morning. And even though I'm about to face my death, I turn and I'm like, wow. I can't believe I was complimented on my food, because I'm only complimented twice in the whole show on my food. Once when Garrett Wang's character orders a second helping of Leola root stew, and then when I look at myself, I didn't watch the last 6 seasons of the show. I only watched the first season a little bit, because I can't stand to see myself on camera. I have done 352 television shows. I counted them up last month. 5 years of Benson, 7 years of Star Trek, about another 60 guest stars. I've done 35 features. And I have seen maybe 1% of them, because when I look at myself, I get nauseous. Have you ever heard yourself on a tape recorder? And you go, is that me? Imagine doubling, look, hearing your voice and seeing yourself. Does anybody like to watch themselves in home movies or stuff? No, you don't. It's the same thing when you do this for a living. You don't want to watch it. And all you do is you think, oh my God, I wish I had made a different choice, or I should have done, why did I have to do that? You know, so you're constantly criticizing yourself, so you don't really want to watch it. Yes, sir.
Well, primarily as your character on Voyager, you provided a lot of comic relief and levity into the general tone of the program. But occasionally they put you in an episode that was primarily you in a more dramatic and emotional role. Was it a challenge for you to adapt the character into more of that direction?
No, it's basically the same thing. Yeah. No, it's the same thing. It's really the same thing. Again, whether you're playing comedy or drama, I think you just you memorize the lines and you try to figure out how to say them in the way that sounds most real. You know, and even if it's comedy, it's like I was telling these jokes out here. I just tell it like it's a real story, you know. And then if it's written funny, then it'll be funny. It's all in the writing. You know, acting is really just interpretive. You know, so, but the drama can be hard. They both have their challenges, you know, but it comes down to the same thing, just trying to tell the story, you know, what the writer wants the story to be, what's your place in the story. It's like this big picture, and you're just one of the characters. That's why I wanted to be an actor, though. I wanted to be the guy inside the illusion, walking around. I didn't want to direct it, I didn't want to write it, I didn't want to light it, I didn't want to cater it. I just wanted to be the guy inside, walking around, part of the illusion. Yes, sir? Yeah.
We've got so many comic geniuses over the years. You pick out two or three that
well, influenced me. You know, I mean, I have comics that I love. Alan King, Jack Benny, Bob Hope. I thought Bob Hope was hysterical. And more modern comics I really like. C.K. is that his name? C.K. Huh? Yeah, I think he's terrific. And yeah, just whatever, I don't know. I wasn't influenced by anybody so much as I just appreciated what they did and wanted to kind of emulate them, But I remember Alan King, particularly as a child. Alan King really made me. You guys remember Alan King? You're probably too young for him. Shelley Berman was another one I really liked. Bob Newhart and stuff like that. Yes, sir?
You were talking about doing a lot of stuff outside of Voyager.
Uh-huh.
I know you don't watch them, but is there one that you're more proud of, or you like to show to your family, or
Of work I did?
Yeah, of other stuff outside of Voyager that you've actually watched or enjoyed that you did?
I like watching The Island. I did a movie called The Island with Scarlett Johansson, and I actually went to see that because they had a cast and crew screening, and I thought that was a lot of fun. I can't think of any others. I've done tons of them since 1980, all the way from Heart to Heart, through all these. I play, a lot of people. I play a lot of the same kind of character a lot of the time. I play like the nervous white victim, or the the unctuous administrator. Usually play the weird guy because it's interesting because that's how you're. If you don't look like I'm not a normal leading man guy. Normal leading guy is like 5'10". He's got a full head of hair, and he's going to play the chief, the president, the head dude. And then the short little guy is his underling, or the short little guy is the criminal, and stuff like that. Like that's like it in real life? No. In real life, the short little guy can be head of the corporation, and the real good looking guy can be the killer. But in TV, sometimes they think the audiences have these visual expectations, and so they try to fulfill them. And it's called typecasting. Now, they don't always do that. And sometimes, especially on stage, I get to play more powerful people on stage. But in TV, sometimes you're just by the way that you look, you're considered a kind of a comic actor or something like that. And you can't fight against it, and nor can you complain. You're lucky anytime you get a job.